Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Land Down Under. Welcome to Australia. Welcome to the Phillip Island circuit for this, the latest race meeting in the World League Sim Racing Club 73 Touring Car Championship. 2 races today, one 15 minutes, the other 30 minutes with a mandatory pit stop, and of course the Kia Optimas and the VW Jetters represented in the field today. Well, hello everybody, I'm Adam Bath, and on the cameras it is James Nash, and we're here for the latest race meeting in what has been a thrilling season so far. Who could forget the amazing racing we saw the other week at Watkins Glen and the Jetters? And I'm sure them, and along with the Kias, will provide similar great racing here today. We're running through the championship standings going into this race meeting, and it is the 2 Team Mad drivers at the top of the championship, only separated by 4 points. Michael Hall leading 2-time Club Series champion Pete Harrod. Lewis Bibby, who beat me to a World Series race at Donington back in December last year, is in 3rd, with his teammates Mark Woodhouse in 4th. Chris Wood in 5th for Club 73 Racing, with Scott Malcolm in 6th for Automech. Then in 7th it's Dale Green, the pro driver, with Neil Rocks in 8th, Ben Hackerson in 9th, and Christopher Sherburn rounding out the top 10. He too a pro driver. The top 10 in points, separated by only 143. Moving over to the Jetters, and it is Clive Lawrence leading Conrad Venter by 75 points. Then it's only 4 back to Dennis Melcher, who, interesting fact, is only racing with one eye today, the other one bandaged up. Ryan Walker, who was with us on Apex Racing TV earlier for the IMSA Sports Car Series, he's racing here in the Team Cheese and Wine Cheddar outfit in 4th. He's joined 4th with his colleague Tim Mawson. And then it's Hedgecock in 6th with Hooper 7th, Gunfield 8th, White in 9th, and Lundgren rounding out the top 10 in the Jetters. And team standings, we'll quickly run you through them as well, just as we come to the end of the qualifying session. Team Mads leading CST Pro by 61 points, Club 73 Racing in 3rd, GBR 2 All to Play in 4th, Boosted in 5th, and in the Jetters it is TCW Merlos in 1st, Team Mads 2nd, in fact they are joint top, both on 1188 points. The Team Cheese and Wine Cheddar team in 3rd, Club 73 Developments 4th, and Team Power Slide in 5th. So that is how the state of play is going into this race meeting. Qualifying just coming to an end, and yeah, we'll have a 15-minute race for race 1. Then we'll have a reverse grid for race 2, based on the championship standings reversed, I believe it is. And then for race 2, yeah, a 30-minute race with a mandatory pit stop for both the Kias and the VW Jetters. Interesting to see how these cars handle the Phillip Island circuit, a bit different to Watkins Glen from a while back. Very fast circuit that one, Phillip Island. Quick as well, but with a few tight and twisty sections as well to go along with it, especially down at the MG hairpin and before the finish line. Good to be commentating on this series. I always followed it keenly on Apex Racing TV, especially the last few race meetings where we've seen such fantastic action. Of course, we've also got the Club 73 Touring Car Championship going on today, usually over covering that one, but as Andrew Woodhouse isn't available, yeah, we're over here at Phillip Island. So let's run you through the grid then. And interestingly enough, it is the top 2 at the top of the championship. Well, so Chris Wood actually on pole position, I should say. Chris Wood currently on pole position. 2nd is Pete Harrod, 2nd in the championship. Can he close that gap to Michael Hall, who starts further down the order? Lewis Bibby, 3rd in the championship as well. He starts 3rd, with Michael Hall 4th, the championship leader, 4 points ahead of Pete Harrod. Could that gap get closed down today? Mark Woodhouse in 5th, Sam Reed in 6th, then Clinton Bell in 7th. Kip Stevens, who's only just turned up, he didn't do any practice, but currently sitting 8th. That shows just his skill in the Kia Optima, really. 2-time, of course, BSR TC champion. Maciek Sakovic, who's won 2 titles as well in a Kia, he's in 9th. In fact, 1 title in the Kia, I do apologise. And then Tristan Bodis in 10th. And then Liam Atkins in 11th, with Dale Green 12th, Jason Rowe in 13th, John Roberts, the king of the ring, in 14th, and Stuart Atkinson in 15th. Then we'll move into the Jetters, and it is the Team Cheese and Wine car Clive Lawrence has taken pole position there. Alex Molina in 2nd. 3rd is Tim Mawson. Dennis Melchert in 4th. That is still a fantastic qualifying considering he's got mono vision, really. Ryan Walker in 5th position, with Conrad Venter in 6th, another teammate. John Broadmeadow in 7th. Steve Hooper in 8th. 9th, Dave Crozier, with Adam Hedgecock in 10th. 11th, Dan Gunfield. Nicholas Rossi in 12th. Robert Lundgren in 13th. Dave Ayers in 14th. A.D. King in 15th. Miguel Freitas in 16th. And Chris White rounding out the field. Chris is at the front and at the rear in this race meeting in the Club 73 Touring Car Championship. Well, the car's just heading down to the grid now. 15-minute race. As I was saying, yeah, race 2, reverse grid. It is the championship order reversed, and then we'll be ready for the 2nd race of the day. And of course the Jetters will be starting behind the Kias in that reverse grid race. Thank you all for joining us. I know there is another motorsport event going on at the moment that might take priority, but I'm sure we'll see just as good racing that we've seen at Indianapolis today here at Phillip Island. 4.4 kilometre circuit, 12 corners. And the conditions for this opening race, 23 degrees Celsius in the air and 28 degrees Celsius on the track, and a very low wind as well, considering we are by the sea. Chris Wood and Pete Harrod then the front row, and then Bibby and Hall. All the cars are formed, and now the attention will turn to the lights as we get the first race of the day underway in the Club 73 Touring Car Championship.
Green, green, green!
We're underway. Chris Wood gets away well, so does Clinton Bell. It's all going to be about the 2nd phase, about who can get into the lead, and it's Pete Harrod that gets it. So let's see if he can get that position into the first corner. The Team Mad car on the outside. He swoops around the outside, and 2-time Club Series champion Pete Harrod takes the lead for the first corner. Chris Wood remains in 2nd. Off goes Michael Hall, his championship rival, Pete Harrod's championship rival, but he makes it back onto the track safely. Now we've got to go through this hairpin where it is very hard in the opening, in the early going, when the tyres are are not up to temperature. And off is Stuart Atkinson. That's a problem for him. What about the Jetters? Good start from Clive Lawrence and Dennis Melchert. Melchert up into second position despite racing with only one eye. That's a fantastic job from him. And in third position is Conrad Venter. 4 positions gained. A veteran in this car. Always see his streams on his YouTube channel. And a good start from the Team Cheese and Wine car of Conrad Venter up into third position. So we are underway in both classes. Tim Mawson 4th and Ryan Walker as well, rounding out the top 5, and Stuart Atkinson has got quite a few VW Jetters to get by in the early going here. But as the rest of the Kias go through Lukey Heights and on their way towards MG for the first time, is Pete Harrod holding back Chris Wood. Chris Wood, who sits 5th in the championship going into this race meeting, going up the inside of Pete Harrod into the MG hairpin. But will he be able to hold it onto it? Round the outside he's going to try and go. Of course, that's what Pete Harrod did to him in turn 1. Club 73 car cannot get it done here, but he's going to have a fantastic opportunity. Going through the final corner onto the front straight, he'll be able to pick up the toe. And Lewis Bibby in third is the CST Pro, and try and get a position as well. The top 3 starting to break away as we come over the line. First lap already in the books. Pete Harrod over the line, 1:43.981, and Chris Wood looking to the inside into the first corner. No way through just yet. He can try up the inside, but it might not work, and you can see Lewis Bibby getting all sorts of sideways there through the first corner. You can see the dust that we've got on the actual racing line going into turn 1. And here comes Chris Wood. Good run on the exit, using all of the curb on the outside as well. But no way through. Gets a good run through Stoner, the left-hander named after the MotoGP champion on the Ducati and the Honda. And then into Honda hairpin again. No way through, and you can see just in the space of half a lap or so, that the rest of the field have started to close back on to the guys at the front. That's what the slipstream does do around here, and I think we're going to see this in both of the races, even with the mandatory pit stop, where we're going to see all the cars really stuck together. Let's check back in at the VW Jetters. Clive Lawrence then leading the way, second Dennis Melchert, and then it's the 2 cheese and wine cars fighting between, well, the 3 cheese and wine cars I should say. We've got Tim Mawson, we've got Conrad Venter, and we've also got Ryan Walker. Clive Lawrence driving for the Cheese and Wine Merlot outfit, but Venter and Walker both in the Cheddar division. And the battle for the leaders resumes. It's wheel to wheel versus Chris Woods versus Pete Harrod going into the final corner. That might not go well, Chris, round the outside, but it might work actually. Here he goes. Pete Harrod forcing him out wide, of course a veteran in the Kia as well, 2-time Club Series champion, and this wheel-to-wheel action would just allow Lewis Bibby to close in as well. Could we go 3 wide down the front straight? Bibby getting on the brakes actually, because he got such a good run. Harrod round the outside, it's shades of lap 1 again here. Contact between the 2, but they make it through anyway, and Pete Harrod regains the lead, but there's contact again. It all bunches up, and that might force Pete Harrod down onto the grass. He's able to rescue it, but will he have lost the lead? He has, but will he lose second position as well? That's Lewis Bibby on the inside in the white and green Kia Optima, and behind them the Team Mad car of Michael Hall, Pete Harrod's championship rival. Now onto the brakes, into the Honda hairpin. Here comes Michael Hall from a long way back, 3 into 1. Somehow it works, but Lewis Bibby's in second, Michael Hall's in third, and now Pete Harrod's under pressure from Sam Reed now. And into Siberia, the left-hand hairpin, it's Reed versus Harrod. Harrod in the yellow and black Team Mad car. Sam Reed in the multicoloured green and white Kia Optima. Teammates with Chris Wood, of course, who's leading the race. And Sam Reed goes up the inside, and he too now has 4th position. So Pete Harrod from 1st to 5th in an instant, really. Well, an instant, about a third of a lap. And now he's got his work cut out because he's got quite a few cars in front of him. One saving grace for him will be that they won't be able to scamper away because the slipstream will still work in his favour as long as he stays within a relatively close distance. And it's not over chances of him getting a race victory. But Chris Wood, 6/10 of a second lead already as we go through the final corner. Things have all of a sudden started to look good for Chris Wood as we go through the final corner. Quite a few cars taking to the grass and the gravel. Sam Reed's mistaking his Kia Optima for a rally car there. And Pete Harrod's now under pressure from Mark Woodhouse. Mark Woodhouse looking to the outside into the first corner. The Team Maz car is going from bad to worse here as we go through the first corner. Pete Harrod got done round. Pete Harrod managed to do a move around the outside, but it looks like he's going to get done by a car around the outside. And you can see Harrod struggling for grip on the outside. It's pretty dusty through that long left-hander. And Mark Woodhouse gets the move done and isn't too far behind his teammate Sam Reed. So Woodhouse through into 5th. Pete Harrod from the lead down to 6th. He started 2nd on the grid as well. Pete Harrod. That's not gone at all well for him, but he's looking up the inside. He fights back straight away. Up the inside he goes, and he's going to get Woodhouse. He might try and ruffle a few feathers with Sam Reed. The Team Mad car trying to get a move around the outside, done into the Siberia hairpin here. You see just behind us. And here's Kip Stevens. Kip Stevens, who with his Kia Optima, having a look here as we go through Lukey Heights and the Hayshed corners. Up to the top of the hill, and on our way towards MG, Kip Stevens now giving Pete Harrod plenty of food for thoughts here. Two-time BSRTC champion versus two-time Club Series champion, Pete Harrod. Oh, car getting on the brakes on the exit there. That was Mark Woodhouse. Don't know what the planning was in that. But yeah, it was on the exit of MG, got on the brakes before the left-hander, and that's bunched things up a little bit more. So Woodhouse goes for a late apex for the final corner. In his 5th position, Harrod in 6th, 7th Kip Stevens, 8th Clinton Bell, 9th Tristan Bodis, and Maciej Sakovic rounding out the top 10. Check in on the VW Jessers for another time. Things are looking relatively comfortable for Clive Lawrence at the moment. Same for Tim Mawson, really. Ryan Walker in 3rd, Steve Hooper 4th. I'll tell you what the big problem is for Conrad Venter and Dennis Melcher. So I don't know what happened to those guys, but those were at the front. Now they find themselves down the order. I wonder if something might have transpired between those guys. And it seems it might have happened a while ago. Maybe it might have been caught on the camera. In fact, they both made pit stops, which is interesting. Yeah, I don't think we got it. Yeah, they both came into the pits, so maybe they might have messed up the fuel or something. I don't know. But yeah, for two different teams, interesting that. We don't have pit stops in the opening race, as you just mentioned. So that's safe for race 2. Yeah, so I don't know what happens between Clive Lawrence and Dennis Melchers and Conrad Venter. Maybe they had a slowdown penalty that they both didn't serve in time. But yeah, both issues for those two. Back at the front of the Kias then, Chris Wood, very wide through Lukey Heights, and that's going to be the lead for Lewis Bibby. Or is it? Up the inside goes Chris Wood. That will surely keep him in the lead, but he's got to give Lewis Bibby some space there. Bibby up the inside into the penultimate corner. And the two teammates are going to go wheel to wheel here. Lewis Bibby driving for the CST Pro team. Chris Wood driving for the Club 73 Racing. So they've both got the same paint scheme, but different teams. Lewis Bibby with the green. Chris Wood with the yellow. Over the line. The gap between them at the line actually was 53 thousandths. But who's going to have the lead into the first corner on lap 6? We've got 6 minutes to go as well. Of course, it is a timed race, not a lap race. Alex Molina also out of the race. Up the inside goes Chris Wood. What can Michael Hall do? Round the outside goes Lewis Bibby. Confidence in the grip on the outside to try and keep his Kia Optima in the lead here. Chris Wood comes back up the inside, desperate to hold on to the lead that he's been holding since the start of lap 2 of the race. Michael Hall, now ahead of his championship rival Pete Harrod. He wants to extend his championship lead here. But up the inside goes Lewis Bibby into the Honda hairpin. They don't really want to collide, these two. Controlling matters at the front. You can tell you that in the background, Kip Stevens has got up the inside of, or gone up around the outside of Pete Harrod. Stevens will have the inside line for Siberia. And the BSRTC two-time champion has got it done, has he? It looks like he has. But Pete Harrod will have the speed on the outside, so the Team Mad car could fight back as we go through the Hayshed. And indeed he does. Trying to hold on to his 6th, but Kip Stevens relies around the outside into Lukey Heights and he demotes him back another position. Chris Wood versus Lewis Bibby then, into the MG hairpin. Non-stop action here in the Kia Optima class in the Club 73 Touring Car Championship. Through the left-hander goes Lewis Bibby. The way of telling them apart, Lewis Bibby with the green stripe on the the Kia Optima. Chris Wood with the yellow one. They now cut back, and it looks like Chris Wood's going to try and get a cut back here. They're in the same positions they were a lap ago. What can Michael Hall do? Can he try and make it free wide? Or is he going to try and follow either Bibby or Wood wherever they go? He's going to try and make it free wide here. This might not go well. Round the outside goes Bibby. Up the inside goes Bibby. Round the outside goes Chris Wood. Now they switch for the left-hander. Michael Hall really in with a shout of making an impression here. Up the inside goes Chris Wood. What great battling this is in the opening race of the Club 73 Touring Car Championship at Phillip Island. Through Stoner Bends, the long left-hander, and then on the brakes we see so many big crashes here with cars T-boning each other. And up the inside goes Chris Wood. So Lewis Bibby through into the lead. And that finally looks like a done deal. It's taken some time, but can Chris Wood respond? We've seen Chris Wood get moves done in the MG hairpin later on in the lap. But now Chris Wood's got to worry about Michael Hall. Hall, who is the championship leader going into this race meeting. And Chris Wood, who sits 5th, only 79 points behind the championship leader, trying to get some ground. Through the hay shed and up to Lukey Heights again. Lewis Bibby almost taking a bit of the grass on the inside there. And now into the MG hairpin. Michael Hall gets a good run here, but what can Chris Wood do? Got a good exit there, Chris Wood. Now through the left-hander, you can see the pit lane on the left. That's where the drivers will have to go during race 2 to do their mandatory pit stop. Bit of an interesting pit lane as well to get onto, really, surrounded by grass. So if you do get it wrong, you can go pretty wrong here. Through the final corner. Onto the pit straight again to start lap 8. Chris Wood not wasting any time whatsoever. Of course, Lewis Bibby will have the racing line. Round the outside he goes, Lewis Bibby. That should keep him in the lead, but it will hamper Chris Wood's exit speed because he took that inside line. And this allows Michael Hall to try and round the outside. Wood gives him the space on out there, but doesn't really work on the exit. And Chris Wood able to hold on to second position here. What can Mark Woodhouse do? He's been lapping quicker than the guys in front. He's been doing 37s while they've all been doing 38s. 30 how focused they are on the cars in front. Bibby goes wide actually through the Honda hairpin. Bibby trying to keep the lead. And Wood's trying around the outside as well. Bibby on the curbs. And now Michael Hall fancies his chances. He's going to get boxed in here a little bit. Can he try and get the move done around the outside? We saw Kip Stevens do this on Pete Howard earlier on. And that was Michael Hall's teammate, of course, in the Team Mad team. Oh, Wood's still sliding. His Kia Optimas do love to slide about since iRacing updated the build. Good 11 weeks ago now. Michael Hall late on the brakes, barges into the door of Chris Wood there. And now Mark Woodhouse has fully arrived on the scene. It's now a 4-way battle for the lead with 2 minutes to go. It's about a 100-second lap here around Phillip Island. So we should be starting the penultimate lap of the race. Really hard to take your eyes off this so when you consider there's still another class of racing. And we've got a free car scrap for the lead in that as well. It's Clive Lawrence, Tim Mawson and Ryan Walker, all in cheese and wine cars, but some of them in different teams. Lawrence driving for the Merlot team, whilst Walker and Mawson are in the Merlot is also Team Tim Mawson. Ryan Walker in the Cheddar outfit. But they're doing a fantastic job at the front. Back to Michael Hall. Kia Optima. They're lapping the Jettas now. This might not go well. Oh, they're on the brakes. Into the hairpin they go. Of course, these drivers will be experienced of racing in this traffic. I'll tell you what, I'm not, so that's why I'm getting a bit anxious here with all the racing that's going on. Chris Wood has definitely lost touch with Lewis Bibby. Bibby is away now. So this is not going to go well here as we go through the hay shed. Trying to forge a gap through the middle here. 3 wide with Jettas and Kias through the Lukey Heights. Oh, dear me, that is Sam Reed trying to get past the car. And it hasn't worked for John Roberts. I think John Roberts might have got caught up in all that. He is off and the car is wrecked on the exit of the Siberia corner. Oh, just got caught and sighted there. He goes off with the Jetta of David Ayres. And that is a disaster for those guys, just a few laps away from home. Not gone at all well. Dave Ayres retires back to the pits as the Kia Optimas come around to start the final lap of the race. 20 seconds to go here. We will get one more lap in. Bibby is now a 1-second lead over Chris Wood. Michael Hall is in 3rd. 4th is Mark Woodhouse. 5th is Sam Reed. But Reed and Woodhouse are now dueling and there's a crash on the front straight. I don't know who it is, but I just saw a whole load of smoke and cars off. It's Adam Hedgecock, is it? I'm just seeing what happened. Oh, it was traffic again. It was someone. It was Sam Reed, actually. It was a Sam Reed and Woodhouse battle that caused that incident. Getting into the back of Hedgecock's VW Jetta. And Sam Reed has got a bit of damage now on the front of his Kia Optimas. We're on the final lap of the race. Hall trying to get past Chris Wood on the final half a lap. No way through. Lawrence, Mawson and Walker still leading in the Jetters. Whereabouts are those guys actually in relation to the rest? They are quite a way ahead and they should not get lapped by the time we get to the line. But Tim Mawson still holding back Ryan Walker in the battle for second, and Lawrence trying to hold off Tim Mawson. They'll get one more lap in. But for the Kia Optima leaders, they are just coming up to the finishing line now, through Lukey Heights and towards the MG hairpin. Lewis Bibby started third on the grid. Looks like he's going to take victory, bar any late race mishaps lapping this VW Jetta traffic. Problem for Liam Atkins as well. He looks like he might have been done for the race here. But through the final corner goes Lewis Bibby, trying to lap the Cheese and Wine number 9 car of John Broadmeadow. He does, and the checker flag is in the air. And race 1 of the day here goes to Lewis Bibby. He gets it done around Phillip Island. Second for Chris Wood, third for Michael Hall, Mark Woodhouse fourth, and fifth for Sam Reed, with Harrod, Stevens, Bodis, Sakovic and Bell rounding out the top 10. Now we can turn our attentions over to the VW Jetters for their final lap. Everyone else bar this top 3 have completed the race. Hooper finished in 4th, Broadmeadow 5th, Crozier 6th, Miguel Freitas from the back to 7th. A good race there by the former World Touring Car driver. Lundgren in 8th, Gunfield 9th, and Dennis Melchert with one eye rounding up the top 10 despite a pit stop that he and Conrad Venter had to serve. Tell you what, actually, considering it's a stop and go, I think that was a jump start penalty. I wouldn't put it past. So yeah, looks like Melcher and Venter may have had to serve a jump start penalty, but here they go. Here come the leaders. Cheese and Wine Merlot versus Cheese and Wine Cheddar. Who's going to be the cream of the crop here? And whose race may turn sour? As we go through Lukey Heights and into the MG hairpin. Through the MG hairpin we go, and now it's a straight out blast to the line. Looks like Clive Lawrence might just have it in control here. Through the final corner they go. You can see the difference in noise as well between the Kia Optima and the VW Jetta. Checker flag at the ready for the top 3 in the Jettas, and the race victory goes to Clive Lawrence, with second for Tim Mawson and third for Ryan Walker. Great job by the Team Cheese and Wine outfit. They'll be very happy with that. And I think we are just waiting for one more car to come across our line. That is David Ayres. He was able to get back out after what happened earlier, and he does that. So he takes that final position in 14th. What a fantastic race to get things started, and we've got to do it all again in race 2, but with pit stops. That's going to be very interesting indeed. 30-minute race there. That opening time in race 1 went by very, very quickly indeed. Let's run you through the finishing order then. Lewis Bibby takes the win. Second for Chris Wood, third for Michael Hall, fourth for Mark Woodhouse, fifth for Sam Reed, and then sixth Pete Harrod. You're starting out the day, we're trying to close that 4-point gap to Michael Hall, and he ends race 1 with it going up. 7th for Kip Stevens, 8th for Tristan Bodis, 9th for Maciek Sakovic, he started 9th. 10th for Clinton Bell, 11th for Andrew Whitehead, started 32nd on the grid. Good job there from Whitehead. However, of course, he would have been starting in and amongst his class. Then in 12th for Dale Green, 13th for Jason Rowe, 14th for Stuart Atkinson, 15th for John Roberts. Despite that crash, he was able to limp back home and then into the Jettas. Well done to Clive Lawrence, victory for him. Tim Mawson second, Ryan Walker third, Steve Hooper in 4th. Then Liam Atkins, who ended up finishing in 16th place despite a visit to the pits late on. John Broadmeadow in 5th in the Jettas with Dave Crozier 6th, Miguel Freitas in 7th, 8th for Robert Lundgren with Dave Gunfield 9th, and then Dennis Melchert in 10th with Conrad Venter in 11th. Adi King in 12th, 13th for Nicholas Rossi with Dave Ayres finishing in 14th, and then the cars that really struggled during the race. Adam Hedgecock, big crash for him on the front straight, no fault of his own, got hit up the rear, and then Alex Molina in the pits really since the start of the race, and Chris White didn't take the start. Right then, race 2 with the Club 73 Touring Car Championship will be coming up shortly. Reminder that the second race is a 30-minute feature race with a mandatory pit stop for fuel and tyres, and they'll be disqualified if they don't take those tyres, so yeah, we'll watch out for that. And there'll be a reverse grid with the championship order reversed, hence why we've got no reverse grid wheel. But yeah, that's the end of race 1. Join us after the break here on Apex Racing TV. We'll be getting set for the 30-minute feature race here in the Club 73 Touring Car Championship at Phillip Island.
gaze is shifted upwards to the sky.
Welcome back to Phillip Island here for the Club 73 Touring Car Championship in association with World League Sim Racing. A fantastic first race. Now we're just getting set for the second race of the day, a 30-minute feature race, which will not have pit stops, as I was saying before the break. It looks like they still haven't fixed the bug that they've had with the pit stops, so it'll just be a straight 30-minute race for the Optimus and the VW Jetters. A fantastic job from Lewis Bibby to take victory after starting on the second row of the grid. He'll be very happy with that. Probably even more happy than beating me to the World Series at Donington. But I'll keep going on about that, don't I? Yeah, time for the second race. We're just in the warm-up session at the moment. We're just about 2 minutes away from getting down to the grid, and then we'll be able to get the second race underway. The championship is still on a knife edge, really. The points haven't been updated, but it's safe to say that Michael Hall will have extended his lead over Pete Howard after Howard started second, took the lead, but then ended up falling down to 6th by the end of the race. He'll be hoping for better things in the second race, and with a 30-minute race, which is double the amount of time for a race we have in the BSRTC, he's going to have ample opportunity to work his way to the front of the pack. With Phillip Island having such a fantastic opportunity to do slipstreaming, then yeah, Pete Howard's got a good opportunity here. And I wonder what about Michael Hall and Michael Hall as well. These guys will of course be starting with each other because it's the championship order reversed. So Hall will be starting at the back along with Howard. Bibby, the race one winner, will be starting towards the rear as well. Same for Woodhouse and Chris Wood. So this is really going to be interesting here. And of course, the Jetters will be starting in reversed too, and they will be starting behind the Kias, so we don't have any craziness going into the first corner. Just under a minute to go now. The remaining races that we go to in the Club 73 Touring Car Championship, we go to Zolder before heading to Road America, then Mosport at the beginning in June, and then we go to Brands Hatch GP to end the season. We started the season at Silverstone and we ended it at Brands Hatch as things kick off a bit in the warm-up session. Pete Howard is one of them. Also should mention I don't know my cheaters, obviously. Merlos is not pronounced Merlos, it's Merlot. I've been told, yeah, it's not that either. What was it again, James? Merlot's a wine. There you go. Cheese and wine. Yeah, cheese and wine, right there. Yeah, I never heard of Merlot before. It's a cheese anyway, and I'm not exactly a wine connoisseur. So there you go. There you go, folks. The wine outfit of Clive Lawrence, for the say. But yeah, dear me. Right, let's run you through the grid. I can tell you I wasn't on the Merlot when I was doing that World Series broadcast. Right, look, Liam Atkins is on pole. Second is Maciek Sakovic. Third is Kip Stevens. Fourth, Tristan Bodis. 15th, Andrew Whitehead. 6th, Clinton Bell. 7th, Stuart Atkinson. Then it's Jason Rowe, John Roberts, Sam Reed and Dale Green in 11th. Chris Wood in 12th. Then Mark Woodhouse, Bibby, Harrod and Hall. And then in the Jetters, it's Rotti, then Crozier, Broadmeadow, Ayres, Adi King, Alexis Molina, Miguel Freitas, Robert Lundgren, Dan Gunfield, Steve Hooper, then Hedgecock, Tim Mawson, Ryan Walker, Dennis Melchert, Conrad Benter, and Clive Lawrence will have 31 cars in front of him. So once again, we turn to the lights for the final race of the day.
Green, green, green.
We're underway. Cars trying to get away from the line as good as they can. Atkins has got a good start. He might be able to keep back Maciek Sakovic when we go into the first corner. Watch out for Kip Stevens as well. Of course, not doing the full schedule, so he's able to be near the front due to the reverse grid. Stevens taking the tighter line through the first corner, but not able to get past Sakovic, and Sakovic isn't even able to get past Liam Atkins into turn 2, the hairpin. Good start from Pete Howard. He's up 5 positions. He's even got ahead of his teammate Michael Hall. Kip Stevens up to 2nd position on the exit of the first corner then. Oh, big crash in the Jetters. It's David Ayres who had issues in race 1, Dennis Melchert with one eye, Robert Lundgren also away at the rear of the field, and it's all kicked off there. But into the Honda hairpin, it's Kip Stevens that leads. Kip Stevens has got the lead away from Liam Atkins. He was 3rd on the exit, the hairpin. By the time we got to Honda, he got the lead, but Atkins has got it back though. As we we go through Siberia. And contact between the boosted car of Sakovic and Andrew Whitehead. Whitehead, who does well in race 2s. He won quite a few of them in the Club Series, which used to run on Sunday nights on Apex Racing TV. Now through the Hayshed and up to Lukey Heights on lap 1 of this 30-minute race. Plenty of action unfolding already here. Atkinson past Bodis in that GBR Brit Modeler car. Also in the mix there is that Team Mad car of Pete Harrod, who's trying to get some points back yet again on his championship rival Michael Hall. Harrod through past Bodis and up into 7th. Good to surge beyond again. Now through the final corner to complete the opening lap of the race, and it's Kip Stevens in 2nd position, but it's Liam Atkinson leads, but he goes onto the grass, and so does Maciek Sakovic as well. Goes for a bit of grass cutting here. And over the line, first lap in the books. Liam Atkins over the line, 1:46.7, but Kip Stevens looking to the inside line, into the first corner. Two-time BSRTC champion. Now Maciek Sakovic trying to get the job done on Atkins as well. Atkins brakes early, but the car gets a wiggle on there, and he's very lucky not to end up in the grass and the gravel. He will lose a position to Andrew Whitehead. Whitehead through into 3rd position now, and could get past Maciek Sakovic, who didn't get the best run. In fact, he got an awful run off the exit of the hairpin. Into the hairpin they go. It's all kicking off here. Look at the cars almost trying to go on the grass. Whitehead's going to get forced out, and his teammate's going to go through. Atkinson into 4th. And off goes Bodis. Tristan Bodis is done here, but he hasn't hit the wall. Just trying to look at what happened. On the inside was the yellow 87 car. That was Chris Wood. And then it's the quarter panel from car 112. That's Michael Hall. Michael Hall is carrying on though. He's up to 8th position now. He's just got past Liam Atkins. Atkins, who was first at the start of this very lap. He was first at the start of lap 2. He now finds himself in 9th. Could be 10th if the cars around him are able to say about it. Car 24, Sam Reed getting by. And Lewis Bibby also fancying his chances as well. Those two teammates, Sam Reed and Lewis Bibby, driving for the CST Pro Team. Good start from those guys as they go through the final corner. Lap 2 in the books then. Kip Stevens leads Maciek Sakovic by 8/10 of a second. Phillip Island, usually the opening round of the BSRTC championship, but Kip Stevens doing a good job here. We'll check in on the Jetters for the first time today then, in this second race. And it is a John Broadmeadow in the Cheese and Wine Cheddar outfit. Who's leading Dave Crozier along the line, but who's this coming with a Ferrator Knots? That's Alexis Molina. Having a look at the inside into the first corner, VW Jetta, car 75. And that is no way to take the first corner, Mr. Crozier. That's going to be a long ride back. He comes back onto the track now, but he's only lost a few positions as a result. Down to 5th place now. And with his Team Mad teammate Miguel Freitas. Clinton Bell versus Pete Harrod going into Siberia. Bell in the 73 car versus Pete Harrod. Harrod's got the better of him. Pete Harrod up 10 positions now. Fantastic start here yet again from Pete Harrod. But can he hold on to it though in the second race? He started well in race 1, got the lead, and then after that fell down the order and ended up finishing in 6th. Sam Reed's not giving up on this either. Sorry, Clinton Bell. Bell up the inside into the MG hairpin. Harrod up and still remains in that 5th position. Andrew Whitehead's only 6/10 of a second up the road, so he should be able to pick up the slipstream off the back of that boosted car as they go through the final corner and onto the front straight to start lap 4 of the race. 6 minutes already gone here in race 2 of the day, and already plenty of action going on in the Kia Optimus. Fastest lap of the race for Maciek Sakovic at 38.5. He's got the gap between himself and Kip Stevens down to 3/10 of a second now. They go for the first corner. Both two-time champions. Kip Stevens, the BSRTC, he won seasons 1 and 2. Maciek Sakovic, he won the opening championship of the BSRTC on a drag race to the line between himself and Ben Hackerson. Chris Wood versus Clinton Bell again. In fact, it's Chris Wood that's got past Clinton Bell. And now they go, and now Michael Hall's getting in the mix, the championship leader. Turning into the, oh, he found a gap there, a Honda, but he's forced Clinton Bell to take to the inside of the Honda hairpin. I wonder if that might even be a slowdown. I don't know how much of the corner he took. Battle for the lead in the or change for the lead I should say, in the VW Jetta. That's Alexis Molina taking the lead away from the John Broadmeadow car. And John Broadmeadow's coming back actually as they go through the Stoner Bend. These VW Jettas don't have much aero, so they're pretty easy to race around here. But when you're in a pack, it is very difficult. Molina up the inside, he maintains the lead. Broadmeadow in second. Third is Miguel Freitas with Ryan Walker in fourth. Where is that Dave Crozier again? Well, we saw him go off at the first corner. And he's gone off here at the Honda hairpin, and a bit of damage as well, as car 46, Tim Mawson, is limping around. Don't know what's happened to Tim, but he is now in 11th position. Car's crabbing a bit actually, Tim Mawson, it looks like. I wonder if he might have had a bit of contact recently. Now for car 46 in that VW Jetta. Again, as we start lap 5 of the race, as in the Kia Optimas, no changes. Kip Stevens still has 3/10 of a second. Those two starting to pull away from Stuart Atkinson, who's now in third. Andrew Whitehead starting to get a bit of pressure from Pete Harrod. Harrod hits him, in fact. Bump and run. Andrew Whitehead will not be happy about that. He cuts back across, and that's going to ruin Pete Harrod's race, because it now means that here comes Chris Wood and his teammate Michael Hall. Andrew Whitehead desperate not to give up any positions here, forcing those guys out wide onto the dirty part of the track. What about into the Honda hairpin? Up the inside goes Chris Wood, up the inside goes Michael Hall. Andrew Whitehead can't really do much if the car was on the inside. Might just about say that he was right to do what he did there with Pete Harrod after a bit of bump and run manoeuvre there. Whitehead back at the inside of Michael Hall, who is Pete Harrod's teammate. Now he's ruffling up Andrew Whitehead. Whitehead will not be very happy with the Team Mad team after this race. Won't be sending them any Christmas cards, even though it is. Oh, more contacts. Must be having kittens on his team speak. That time it was Lewis Bibby that was trying to get past the boosted car. Whitehead goes wide through Lukey Heights. Now he might get hit by Michael Hall into MG. He's now ahead of his teammate Pete Harrod. What on earth is going on now? As Whitehead gets hit by Lewis Bibby and almost quarter panelled. Now a bit of contact between Pete Harrod and Andrew Whitehead as we go through the final corner. Michael Hall's got by. What about Pete Harrod? Michael Hall, who we see racing the BSRTC. We also saw racing the Formula Renaults back in the day. Oh, more contacts, more contacts as they go across the line. Andrew Whitehead still hasn't finished with Pete Harrod yet. Now into the first corner. Who's that behind? That's Lewis Bibby, the race 1 winner. And now he's trying to get past Andrew Whitehead, who goes deep. And a bit of contact there. Bibby has to take to the outside. He's got his teammates to help. That's Mark Woodhouse, and off they both go off. The two teammates. Well, don't know what was going on there, but Andrew Whitehead has left a whole lot of chaos in his wake there, and instead of Mark Woodhouse's two teammates that were around him, it's just himself in contact. That's Whitehead hitting Pete Harrod. Andrew Whitehead looks like he's still not done with it. And now Harrod, he's got to wait back past Mark Woodhouse if he wants to have a retaliation move there. Well, Andrew Whitehead, just going to quickly see whether that was, any sign of, just seeing if he might have missed his braking points somewhat there, just looking back, going into the hairpin. Did see a gap, to be fair, up the inside. I would have gone for it. But Harrod did turn in there. He's holding up the pack a bit now, Andrew Whitehead, as we go into MG. That's Mark Woodhouse now trying to get by, not Lewis Bibby, who he was in affairs with earlier. And further up the road, no advances for the lead. Kip Stevens, in fact, has extended it. It's now 1 second, doing himself a magic Sakovic. In a 30-minute race, we really have to worry about tyre wear, something we haven't really said in any Kia race on Apex Racing TV recently. Chris Wood versus Stuart Atkinson, though, just in front of those guys, and they've just exchanged positions, well, battling for positions actually. So two boosted cars going wheel to wheel. Atkinson trying his best to hold on as Andrew Whitehead sends, that's Mark Woodhouse. Does everyone avoid him? He does. Tell you what, Andrew Whitehead's a bit of a Chick Hicks here, isn't he? I'm sure not many people have used that analogy, but he's not doing deliberate incidents, but yeah, just doing proper touring car racing here a little bit, you could say. I'm sure people won't say that on the Facebook chat. What on earth is going on? That is not going to go at all well. And that is John Roberts getting on the grass, getting out of shape, collecting the mad car of Pete Harrod. And Andrew Whitehead was, on that occasion, bit of an innocent victim in all that. Let's have a look at that again as they go into the hairpin, into on the Honda hairpin. John Roberts around the outside, onto the curb, onto the grass, takes Pete Harrods with him. In fact, Harrods goes into the back of Andrew Whitehead actually, and yeah, Whitehead gets going, but he now finds himself in 12th position. That's worked wonders for Michael Hall. He's now in 6th, Clinton Bell 7th, Dale Green is in 8th, 9th is Liam Atkins, and 10th Lewis Bibby. Sam Reed is out of the race. What's happened to Sam Reed? Looks like he just went off on his own. Yeah, the DST Pro driver off into the wall. And yeah, he now finds himself in the pits. Maybe a hardware failure there. They're now starting to lap the Jetters. They've just lapped Tim Mawson and Dennis Melcher, Kip Stevens and Maciej Sakovic. And now this is when things will start to get interesting. Mawson, Sakovic, I thought that was curtains for him. Sakovic is able to just hold on before he looked like he was going to be going onto the grass there. And this will allow the drivers at the front to try and close back in now. The top 10 in the Kia Optima: Stevens, Sakovic, Wood, Atkinson, Hall, Bell, then Canadian, Dale Green, then Bibby, Atkins, and then Harrod. Was just lapping Tim Mawson there. And off goes Stuart Atkinson. Tell you what, the boosted team are having a field day with that hairpin. But he carries on, and Atkinson finds himself in 5th position. That's still 2 positions higher than where he started, but it has allowed Michael Hall through into 4th, and car 1112 is up 12 positions since the start of the race. How far are Kip Stevens and the like off the rest of the main clump? Yeah, battle for the Jetta lead, yeah indeed. Alexis Molina holding back John Broadmeadow and Miguel Freitas. 3 teams represented as well here. Got the Merlot Cheese and Wine team, and Alexis Molina, the Iberian Power Slide Motorsport looks like on the side of his car, and then in 3rd position Miguel Freitas driving for Team MAD. Into the Honda hairpin here, no advances by any of those guys yet. Watch out for Ryan Walker as well, he drives for the Cheddar Cheese and Wine team. Sideways there, we're trying to turn it in. Of course, not too much power to get sideways in, or make a power slide either in the VW Jettas, unless you get turns really. But you can see that Alexis Molina was definitely throwing his VW Jetta into the Siberia hairpin there. And then just behind those 4, got 2 Team Cheese and Wine cars battling again. That's Conrad Venter and Clive Lawrence. Lawrence, the winner of the opening race in the VW Jetta category. Conrad Venter had a jump start, it looks like, and he had to serve a drive-through penalty. Dale Green is off at the Honda hairpin. What happened to the Canadian? Well, he was battling at the time with Lewis Bibby, and it looks like that Dale Green completely missed his braking point. Thankfully missed Clinton Bell on his way to the gravel, and Green's got going again, but is now behind Liam Atkins. He now finds himself in 9th position. Battle between John Roberts, not Tim Mawson, they're lapping Tim Mawson. Pete Harrod also in the mix. And where is Pete Harrod going? He's off at Siberia. I'm trying to find him. There he is. He's trying to get back on the track. He's in 13th place now. Seems to be unravelling for Pete Harrod in this race meeting. Sorry, Pete, I'll stay away from this championship more often. You were 4 points behind Pete Harrod behind Michael Hall going into this race meeting. I show up and you finish behind him in race 1, and at the moment it looks set to be you finishing behind him in race 2 here. Pete Harrod now down in 13th position, now having issues trying to get past Tim Mawson to lap VW Jetta, and his teammate Jason Rowe isn't too far behind him either, as he comes across the line to start lap 10. Just over half the race gone in the second race of the day here in the World League Sim Racing Club 73 Touring Car Championship here on Apex Racing TV at Phillip Island in Australia. 23 degrees ambient temperature to 36 degrees rack temperature. Of course, no pit stops in race 2, like we were saying earlier, due to the issue that we have. We haven't been able to fix the bug yet. Andrew Whitehead versus Mark Woodhouse. Now, this got a bit messy earlier on. Whitehead's now trying to get past Mark Woodhouse though. Into the hairpin they go. This is over 11th and 12th. no way through for the Boosted Motorsport driver, who's down 7 positions from where he started. We also mentioned that there is not an incident limit in the championship. However, there's an incident limit of 18 for the Kia, while the Jetters will have an incident limit of 25. Every time they go over that limit, though, the driver will lose 1 point. So once the driver goes 10 incident points over the limit, they'll be disqualified from the race. We'll be watching out for that one. We're using championship points if they get too many of those incident points racked up. Chris Wood, then, he's getting closer to Maciej Sakovic. In fact, he's very close as they go through the final corner. This is a battle for second position in the Kia Optimas. Sakovic running right up against the pit wall there in his efforts to try and minimise the distance of the straight. Chris Wood up the inside, and that is a done deal. Or is it? He runs wide on the exit of the first corner. Sakovic trying everything he can to get that second position back, but to no avail. And now Chris Wood can firmly set his sights after Kip Stevens. He was only a tenth of a second quicker than the BSRTC two-time champion on the last lap. And now that he's got the better of him, and now they're lapping the Jetta traffic as well, might be able to close in that gap on the Kia Optima driver as he just laps there. That is Adam Hedgecock, who they've just lapped in car 13. Now he's about to lap Conrad Venter and Clive Lawrence. On for Lewis Bibby and Clinton Bell. What's happened to those guys? Oh dear, it's all kicking off here. Oh, Bibby and Atkinson. Atkins now got to worry about Clinton Bell. Onto the gravel goes Stuart Atkinson. They were Boosted Racing not having the best second race here. Atkinson gets demoted to 8th. And Atkins up into 7th position now, the pole sitter of the race. And there's a Jetta of Robert Lundgren, who gets hit by Stuart Atkinson, and that is the end of Stuart Atkinson's race, I believe. That did not go at all well. How did Atkinson get involved in all this? Well, he took to the grass going through Lukey Heights, and then nothing he could do, really. Oh, into the back of the boosted car. I think he's just stopped. I don't even know if he's going to carry on or whether he's going to return to the pits, but yeah, Stuart Atkinson probably having a bit of a rage to himself right there, maybe. What's the gap then? Chris Wood is 1.2 seconds away from Kip Stevens, the leader. Last time around he was about half a second quicker than the driver of Kip. That's a race spot phrase right there. The driver Kip Stevens. Maciej Sakovic in 3rd, Michael Hall in 4th. He's just lapping the 2 Jettas now with Lawrence and Venter, which are pretty close on the track. Now they're coming up to the leaders, Alexis Molina and Miguel Freitas, and John Broadmeadow, who's trying to get past him. Kip Stevens, the Kia leader, as off the track goes car 21, that is Miguel Freitas. Kip Stevens finds a way past those 2. Now he's just got to find his way past Alexis Molina, which he does. Look at Chris Wood, he's only half a second away now. This might be the experience of racing in this VW Jetta traffic. Kip Stevens, very experienced in the Kia Optima, pretty quick. But Chris Wood, as off goes Miguel Freitas, it's Maciej Sakovic. He should come back onto the track in a safe place. Indeed he does. But yeah, momentary scare there for the first ever Club Series champion. Back to the point about Kip Stevens. Yeah, very quick in the Kia Optima, but maybe not as much experience racing in the Jettas. And Chris Wood's used that to his advantage. And the gap is 3/10 of a second here as we go onto the front straight. Close enough now for Chris Wood to pick up a slipstream as well. .39.8 for Chris Wood, 41.3 for Kip Stevens. That is how much time Kip lost whilst lapping that VW Jetta lead traffic. And now into the hairpin on lap 13, less than 10 minutes to go. Kip Stevens possibly moving out of the way on the exit. Hard to tell. No, he isn't. He's just going for a tight line there. Almost be thinking he'll slow down as we go through Stoner Bend and into the Honda hairpin. Oh, there he goes. He runs wide through the Honda hairpin. And here comes Chris Wood to take the lead. And off he goes. Chris Wood goes off. was trying to get past Kip Stevens for the lead. Into second place goes Maciej Sakovic. Into third place goes Michael Hall. And with 9 minutes to go, I wonder if that is Chris Wood's chance of taking the race victory evaporating right in front of his face. There was no grip on the exit, on the entrance into Siberia on the outside. And Chris Wood, the driver for Club 73 Racing, going straight on at the Siberia hairpin, and now finds himself back down in fourth position with 8 minutes and 39 seconds to go. Sakovic is the main beneficiary. Hall as well. They move into second and third. Chris Wood loses out there and down to fourth position, and Kip Stevens now finds himself with a 2-second lead after he just kept his composure in the heat of battle. Now finds himself with a healthy advantage once again as we start lap 14 of the race with 8 minutes to go. Still nose to tail in the Jetta battle for the lead anyway. Alexis Molina versus John Broadmeadow as they come over the line to start their 13th lap of the race. 48.5 for Molina, 48.3 for Broadmeadow as they go for the first corner. The speed they take through there must be pretty enjoyable to drive these Jettas around this circuit. Maybe why it's picked for the schedule. Molina, the Iberian, versus Broadmeadow, the UK and Ireland driver. We've got Liam Atkins, a bit of clear traffic in fact, coming around to lap these guys. Oh, that's pretty close as Liam Atkins threads the needle there through the two Jettas, and into the hairpin they go. That is Molina getting passed by car 73 Clinton Bell. John Roberts also in the mix there, along with Dale Green, and also and Dale Green and John Roberts. I can tell that Michael Hall's through into second place as well. He's just got past Maciej Sakovic. He might be struggling with tyre wear. Same could be said for Kip Stevens as well. Both of those guys racing BSR races a lot shorter than this. Tell you what, Chris Wood will be starting to get a bit impatient as well. You can see that Michael Hall's got by. The championship leader, Michael Hall, of course. You've seen that Michael Hall's been able to get by Maciej Sakovic, but he'll be wanting to get by as well because he might just be holding on to some hope of maybe getting towards Kip Stevens, who last time around was lapping in the 1-minute 40s. Kip Stevens 1:39.7. That's a good lap from Kip. 39.3 though for Michael Hall. He's got the gap down to 1.9 seconds here. Wood through the right-hander at turn 1 into turn 2. You can see that Michael Hall, he's really hit the traffic at the bad time here. David Ayres, who had a big crash with John Roberts in race 1. Car 666. Getting lapped by all those guys, and now through Stoner Bend. Sakovic, he might fancy his chances of taking second place back here if he's late on the brakes. He is. And now he's trying to now get the cut back on Michael Hall, but Chris Wood still hounding the rear end of that Kia Optima. Meanwhile, Kip Stevens, what's the gap? 2.5 seconds. John Roberts versus Liam Atkins now. Into Honda hairpin, it looks like Atkins might just get the better of the boosted car. Car 73 in front of them with Clinton Bell, who started in 6th and still finds himself in 6th position. A good solid race there then by the Club 73 driver, driving car 73 as well. Who's that, the car behind? That is Dale Green, the Canadian, racing in the GBR Too Old to Play team. Also Brit modeler, also represented by the GBR outfit, and Too Old to Play as well. With a long left-hander, Lukey Heights. Atkins having a little look up the inside of John Roberts there. As further up the field, Chris Wood has finally got the better of Maciej Sakovic. Chris Wood up into 3rd position with just a few minutes to go in the race. Less than 5 minutes to go at Phillip Island. But for Chris Wood, I think a 3.6 second gap is unsurmountable to get to Kip Stevens. And even then, he's still got Maciej Sakovic, who's looking up the inside of him into the first corner on lap 16 of the race. Swooping around the outside goes the Club 73 driver, Chris Wood. And Sakovic had to give in, the Team Mad driver. Brought in to help get some points for Team Mad. They're still leading the championship, of course, and this will do them the world of good. Michael Hall in 2nd, and Sakovic in 4th. And might even get a podium here if he continues his battle with Chris Wood. Guys battled in the Club Series Championship, of course, which used to run on Sunday nights. And Chris Wood back into the podium positions, 9 positions gained quickest mover through the field is Michael Hall, 14 positions gained for the championship leader, as Clinton Bell is dropping down the order and he's off for the Honda hairpin. So what happened to car 73? Similar, oh dear, that is a bump and a run and a half, maybe even a smash and grab. Just looking back on the replay, Roberts slight taps to the right rear, nothing that Clinton Bell could do about that. Straight off into the gravel and he gets going again. Fortunately, he's still inside the top 10, down to 9th, but he was holding his own in 6th position where he had started. And Clinton Bell now finds himself in 9th position, 3 positions lower than where he started. And that's helped Mark Woodhouse. He's up 5 positions now to 8th. Before we get to the end of the race, we'll quickly check in again in the VW Jetters. Alexis Molina really has left John Broadmeadow a little bit now. Molina has a comfortable advantage, you can say. Ryan Walker still holding back Miguel Freitas, and Clive Lawrence and Conrad Venter aren't too far away either from getting themselves involved in this late race scrap. Miguel Freitas involved in a team cheese and wine sandwich here, where ironically he is the filling. As they go for the final corner. See what Freitas can do actually here. He's 0.2 of a second away from Ryan Walker, who's in car 97. Over the line they go to start lap 16. Ryan Walker moves across to cover the inside line here. Around the outside does go Miguel Freitas. Oh, he's just given the space by Ryan Walker. Great racing between these guys, and Freitas is through. And also through is Clive Lawrence. So in the space of 2 corners, Ryan Walker loses 2 positions. Down to 5th place he goes. Miguel Freitas up into 3rd, but it is 2.5 seconds to John Broadmeadow in front. And even then, Freitas has now got to worry about Clive Lawrence as they go into the Honda hairpin here. Not too many laps left in the Jetters, of course. On the outside goes Lawrence. On the inside he goes. Into Siberia, that's where Chris Wood went off earlier whilst battling for the lead with Kip Stevens. Very wide on the exit goes Miguel Freitas. This might give Lawrence his opportunity. Took a long time for Miguel Freitas to get back onto the track there. And now through the right-hander, through the hay shed and up to Lukey Heights. There he goes, Clive Lawrence up the inside. If they can't make it a win for Apex Cheese and Wine, then they can at least try and get as many cars on the podium as they can. Up the inside goes Freitas though, into the MG hairpin. Around the outside goes Clive Lawrence. And that should be 2nd place for the Cheese and Wine car of Lawrence. One's running for the Merlot division. And he is indeed through. So 3rd position now. That makes him the highest moving driver in the field, Clive Lawrence. Started in last, stone dead last, 32nd position. Now finds himself in 3rd in class, 17th overall. But it's not over yet. Jetta class continues to thrill and entertain here. As you can see, there's two different colours on the sides of the car, blue and the green. As they go into turn 2, Freitas back past Lawrence, and Lawrence might try again into the Honda hairpin, but he's still got to worry about Ryan Walker as well, his teammate in car 97. I can also tell you that whilst this battle's going on, that Michael Hall's not made any advancements into Kip Stevens' lead. The clock's about to reach 0 as well. Kip Stevens comes through the final corner. And he will get one more lap, I believe. Yes, he will. So Kip Stevens starts the final lap of the race, even though the clock had just ticked over to 0. Hopefully the drivers have got enough fuel to make it back home. They should do. Michael Hall's in 2nd, 3rd is Chris Wood. That might be a late race duel here, which could be important. Michael Hall will want to get as many points as he can to keep Pete Howard at bay. Chris Wood is on the move though, in the points. Did a great job in race 1, doing an equally good job here. Could have won the race if it wasn't for that off whilst battling with Kip Stevens at Siberia. Now trying to get back as many positions as he can. And a 2nd place would definitely be a damage limitation for him, considering that he was nearly in the lead earlier on in the race. Tell you what, by the time we come round, Stevens will be lapping a few more Jetters here. He's just coming up to lap Dennis Melchert and Tim Mawson. Exit of Siberia through the hay shed. And on his way to Lukey Heights. For the final time, Kip Stevens will be very happy with this. Proving once again that in a different championship he is still top of the order when it comes to driving in a Kia Optima. Mawson and Melchert should get one more lap, but will Kip Stevens make it their final lap? Through the final corner they go. I think the Kia Optima is going to make it the final lap between those two for their battle over what is 11th and 12th in class. In fact, no, they'll still get one more lap, but checkered flag is in the air. Kip Stevens will take race 2 of the day here in the Club 73 Touring Car Championship at Phillip Island. 2nd for Michael Hall, 3rd for Chris Wood, 4th for Sakovic, 5th for Lewis Bibby. Some good battles here towards the end though. Tristan Bodice versus John Roberts as they go through the final corner. As off goes Clinton Bell onto the grass. That shouldn't affect those two though. It's going to be a drag race to the line. Who's going to get the position at the line? John Roberts gets ahead of Tristan Bodice, but by only a few hundredths of a second. Dale Green takes 11th, 12th for Pete Harrod, 13th Jason Rowe. And now it's all about the VW Jetters. Molina versus Broadmeadow. Andrew Whitehead comes across the line and takes the final position in the Kia Optimas. Molina versus Broadmeadow. And it looks like the Powerslide Motorsport Jetta should take the Jetta win. Through the final corner they go. Broadmeadow trying everything that he can. A fantastic drive by Molina. Started behind Broadmeadow, got the lead, and has been able to keep him behind. And he's going to take the the VW Jetta win here at Phillip Island. 3rd will go to Clive Lawrence, but who's going to get 4th? It's Freitas versus Walker. And it is Walker that gets it at the line in a photo finish ahead of Freitas. Venter should take 6th, and then it's Steve Hooper in 7th. And then it's up to Nicholas Rossi and then Hassan Hedgecock and Dave Crozier who should come across the line. Battle still going on though. Here comes Melchert versus Mawson. This is their final lap and it's going to be another drag race to the line, but it should be the Team Cheese and Wine car that comes out on top. Indeed it is. Mawson takes that 11th place with Melchert in 12th. What a fantastic race meeting that's been then. And how crucial could this race meeting be in deciding the championship? Let's run you through the finishing order then from race 2. Kip Stevens takes the win, 2nd for Michael Hall, 3rd for Chris Wood, 4th for Maciek Sakovic, 5th for Lewis Bibby, 6th for Liam Atkins after starting on the pole, so that's a good job from him. Mark Woodhouse 7th, Clinton Bell finishes in 8th in the end, 9th for John Roberts, 10th for Tristan Bodice, 11th for Dale Green, 12th Pete Harrod. Really going to be bad in terms of his championship. 13th for Jason Rowe and 14th for Andrew Whitehead. At least for Pete Harrod, he's still got some points on the board. At least he can hold on to that. And Andrew Whitehead really got muscled about during that race. Ended up finishing in 14th place, the last of the Kia Optimas. Victory in the Jettas goes to Alexis Molina. 2nd for John Broadmeadow, 3rd for Clive Lawrence, 4th for Ryan Walker, 5th Miguel Freitas, 6th for Conrad Venter, 7th Steve Hooper, 8th Nicholas Rossi, Adam Hedgecock 9th. 10th Dave Crozier, 11th for Tim Mawson, 12th Dennis Melchert, and then 13th for the Lundgren with Dan Gunfield in 14th, 15th David Ayres, and then Stuart Atkinson out earlier on along with Sam Reed and A.D. King as well, who was in the pits for a good 30 minutes, so he didn't really get moving at all. He must have been involved in that first corner mayhem. Do have Ryan Walker available for an interview, Team Cheese and Wine driver. We'll drag him up to get his thoughts on the racing today. Ryan, hello.
Hello there.
Oh, you had a good battle with Miguel Freitas there, and yeah, tell us about your evening.
Yeah, this evening was much better than I expected, considering I never had that much time to practice for tonight. Race 1, basically, the plan I had was just keep out of trouble and try and finish in maybe the top 6, but luckily I managed to come through in race 1 and finish in P3, and it was made even better with a Cheese and Wine 1-2-3 in race 1. Race 2, basically it was the same plan, just keep out of trouble, and managed to do that and managed to get up to 4th place in the early stages, or 5th place, sorry, in the early stages, and was keeping up with Alexis, John, and Miguel, I think it was, and yeah, and in the close of stages, had a good battle with Miguel for P4 and managed to get him in the final corner, and yeah, I'm quite happy with that tonight's results.
Your thoughts on Phillip Island as a track? It looked pretty fun out there.
Yeah, it's absolutely awesome fun, even though after both races I was sweating buckets, and I still am sweating at the moment, so yeah, it's hard work, but it's probably one of the most fun tracks that I've raced at in the Jetta.
Proof that you can race on iRacing hungover, maybe. But yeah. Next week then. Well, I said Zolder was tonight, but yeah, it looks like Zolder will be the track next week. A bit different compared to Phillip Island, a bit more tight and twisty.
Yeah, Zolder should be interesting. I've never raced around there in the Jetta, but I've raced there in other cars, and it should be be interesting to see to see how the racing goes. But yeah, hopefully I'll be able to manage to get a good result in both races, and yeah, we'll just see how it goes.
Okay, Ryan, it's sponsor time, so yeah. So, got any messages you want to send out before we let you go?
Team Cheese and Wine, Team Cheese and Wine for supplying the wine, supplying the cheese, and yes, basically just that's it really.
Oh, before Ryan Walker told me, I thought Merlot was a form of cheese, and I was pronouncing it Merlot as well. So there you go, learn something every day on here at Apex Racing TV, even about wine. So yeah, well done on the evening, Ryan, and yeah, thanks for talking to us.
Thanks for having me.
Ryan Walker there. Well, that pretty much wraps up things here from Phillip Island in Australia. And what a race meeting it's been. Well done to Lewis Bibby and Kip Stevens for taking their victories in the Kias, and well done to all the Jetta drivers as well. To Clive Lawrence for the win in race 1, and to Alexis Molina for the win in race 2. I wonder what the championship will throw up when we head to the next race meeting, which we believe is Zolder in Belgium next Sunday. Andrew Woodhouse should be back for that one. But I've thoroughly enjoyed seeing the racing we've seen on track today. And my thanks to James Nash as well for doing the cameras as well. But yeah, I'm off to go and try and do a rally at Sweden for the British Sim Racers World Rally Championship. But from all of us here at Apex Racing TV from Phillip Island in Australia, it's good night to you all.